just wanted to share a video on what I found the best way to use these reusable pods with a Keurig machine. I've got a Keurig Express here, and I actually find I make a better cup of coffee using these pods, so I just wanted to show you how to do that. You'll notice that the lids on a lot of these are a little bit thicker than the actual pods are. You can kind of see the lip on those. So as a result, the top of my Keurig, at least, doesn't close flush. So as you can see, when it's closed, there's quite a bit of thickness there. And you've got a needle down below, right in there, and you've got a needle in the top that has to align. And these pods have a hole in the top, but they've got a groove in the bottom here so that the needle has room there. So what I find is I usually put the pod so that there's this notch here on the side is where this sits, and you have to align it. You don't want to force it, but you'll notice that there is a bit of a gap here. This usually sits flush, but it's because of the thickness of the top of that pod that it doesn't sit flush. So that's to be expected. That's not ideal. I find what works best with these as well is an espresso grind. So I just have a scooper like this. If you grind your own coffee, you can just make it as fine as you want, but I find the finer the better, just my personal taste. It tastes really good. And now here is the secret. When filling these pods, there is a mesh, and the pressure of the coffee maker actually is going to tamp this down. So I fill it only about this full, which kind of equals the same amount that the pods do on their own anyway. This will allow the coffee to actually compress the grounds and allow the coffee to seep through the mesh. Otherwise, it kind of gets plugged up. And the other thing that I like to do is make sure that it's just kind of loose in there. You don't want to pack it in. It just kind of creates a better cup of coffee that way. Make sure there's no grounds around the top to hinder the seal, and you want it to seal as tight as you can. And you put it in your coffee maker. I make sure the hinge on the back there kind of lines up with the side, and it kind of goes slowly, so you make sure you don't snag the needle. And there you go. Now the other thing I notice as well, and this might be to preference, but if your coffee maker can make strong just kind of makes it a slower brew, and it doesn't plug up as much. So in this case, I got a 10 ounce cup. So there it goes. Yeah, if it's been packed too tightly, you'll notice it'll just be dripping. It won't have a steady stream like this. And I noticed with the strong brew, it seems to have more of a steady brewing stream. There we go, so it's done brewing. And let's take a look at the pod. And yeah, as you can see, it kind of floated up around the sides. So if we had filled it any more, it would just create too much pressure inside the pod. So you kind of want this like pocket to be created, and that makes a really good cup of coffee. So yeah, hope that helps some people brew with these reusable pods.